The grand piano gleamed under the soft light of the auditorium as Ethan Park adjusted his posture on the bench. His fingers hovered above the keys, poised to begin the first piece of his rehearsal. The concert hall was empty except for him and a few scattered technicians preparing for the charity event scheduled for next week. It was supposed to be perfect, a chance to show everyone why he belonged at the top of the classical music world. But his thoughts weren't on the keys. They were on the noise filtering in from backstage. An electric guitar riff pierced the air, rough and unpolished, clashing violently with the serene atmosphere of the concert hall. Ethan's fingers faltered for the first time that day. He turned, annoyance flaring in his chest as the music echoed through the walls. "Are you kidding me?" he muttered under his breath. Just as he was about to resume playing, the doors to the backstage area burst open, and in strolled the source of his irritation, a tall, disheveled guy with a guitar slung over his back and a smirk on his face, Lucas Moreno. Ethan recognized him instantly, though they had never officially met. Lucas was the lead guitarist of some underground band, the kind that didn't care about technicalities or precision. He played with abandon, letting loose in a way Ethan couldn't fathom, and now that very person was intruding on his carefully crafted world. "Hey, what's up, maestro?" Lucas called out, his voice casual, as if he owned the place. He sauntered down the aisle, taking in the grand piano and the polished atmosphere like it was a joke. "You ready to show the world some fancy scales?" Ethan gritted his teeth, forcing himself to remain calm. "This is a closed rehearsal." Lucas shrugged, unbothered. "They told me to check out the stage. My band's performing too, remember?" Ethan's eyes narrowed. Of course, he'd heard about the school's decision to include more contemporary acts in the event. Apparently, they wanted to appeal to a younger, broader audience. But he never expected it to mean sharing the stage with someone like Lucas. He stood, carefully adjusting his blazer, trying to maintain his composure. "Yes, I heard, but we're in the middle of a classical rehearsal. Can't you, I don't know, wait?" Lucas grinned, leaning casually against one of the chairs. "Sure, I could. But where's the fun in that?" Ethan took a deep breath, trying not to let his irritation show. "This isn't a joke. Some of us take our performances seriously." Lucas raised an eyebrow, clearly amused. "Oh, I take my music seriously. I just don't take myself so seriously." He swung his guitar around, strumming a few chords that were completely out of place in the pristine concert hall. "You should try it sometime." Ethan clenched his jaw, his fingers itching to correct every offbeat note Lucas played. "That might work for you, but I have a competition to prepare for, one that requires focus." "Ah, yes, the prestigious piano competition," Lucas said, feigning interest. "You and your perfect little world, huh?" "You wouldn't understand." Lucas's grin widened, a glint of something playful, almost challenging, appearing in his eyes. "You'd be surprised." Before Ethan could respond, a voice interrupted them. Boys, let's keep it civil." Ethan turned to see Claire, the event coordinator, hurrying down the aisle toward them. "Ethan, Lucas," she said, giving them both a look that suggested she had better things to do than mediate between two musicians. "I know this is a bit unorthodox, but we need you two to work together on a piece for the event. A fusion, classical and contemporary." Ethan's heart sank. "You can't be serious." Claire crossed her arms. "I am. The board wants a piece that bridges the gap between different music styles, and you two are the best candidates. I've already arranged the rehearsal schedule." Ethan felt a lump of dread forming in his chest. Sharing a stage with Lucas was one thing, but working together? It was the last thing he needed. He opened his mouth to protest, but Lucas beat him to it. "Sounds fun," Lucas said, his voice brimming with amusement. "I'm in." Ethan shot him a look. "This is not going to work." "That's the spirit," Lucas shot back, unfazed by Ethan's cold tone. "Who knows? You might even learn something from me." Ethan sighed, rubbing the bridge of his nose. The day had started off promising. clean, structured, just like he preferred. But now, with Lucas Moreno thrown into the mix, everything felt chaotic. The last thing he needed was a distraction like this, especially when the competition was so close. "Fine," he said, resigned, "but we're doing this professionally, no improvising, no last-minute changes, we stick to the sheet music." Lucas chuckled, slinging his guitar back over his shoulder. "Yeah, we'll see about that." As Lucas walked away, Ethan watched him with a mix of frustration and something he couldn't quite place. He wasn't sure what irritated him more, Lucas's careless attitude or the fact that, for the first time in a long time, someone had gotten under his skin. He sat back down at the piano, placing his fingers on the keys. But the moment had passed. No matter how hard he tried, the music didn't sound quite right anymore.